Good morning. Happy Sunday. Gulfstream Park. 23 minutes. So we got it in today before first post, which is good. I will shoot out a little grid post video here. Um, like a couple, I like the late sequence, I guess, better than the early. Yesterday, we're a little bit hotter early than late. Her best bet didn't break well. Horse read the race right. Horse went on the lead at 10-1. But let's jump in. Not the greatest group in race one, right? Main claimer got a nice 0 for 22 that looks to be current favorite. I was 6-7-1-4. I don't like the four really at all. You can see for Equinage, the top pick is Zenik. And it's where I went on top. I think you're going to get a good price, 2-1. I think Churn and Run can run. Finest Gamble down to the inside. Not taking any current action, but I think that horse fits. This cheap speed, I think, with Rockazoo. I think the one, if I remember right, I think Pena, the apprentice, is riding there. Going to be dangerous up front, but I do think Zenik or Churn and Run probably sit the trip here. Secret Powered over 22. I don't trust that horse at all. We look lost versus 30 on the Tapeta going 2 turns. I'm not a fan of horses that can't beat lower level. So when I see that and just missed, came off the pace, like, I don't know, Doble's off the claim, but I have this horse fourth, Zenik on top, Sanchez taking a big drop, right? Did burn some money two back at this similar level. This is 12.5. That was 17.5. Hasn't really done much wrong. Was a former Fletcher horse that didn't pan out, obviously, and now drops 14 points in SOR. That's massive from last out. Gonna get bits. Two back. There was a 38. This is a 34. I mean, this horse should win. So I put Zenik on top and then Turn and Run second. It's a Sweezy horse. First time in the Tapeta. Question. Been all over the place. 4 different tracks. Claim 3 back. This horse fits at this level, though. I would say Raheem rides. And then Finest Gamble, yeah, Penny rides for Carlos David. Ran a good race last out. Improved on the drop there. Dropped from a 44 to a 38 strength of race. So got to the right level, I would say. Horse fits. But I was 6-7-1-4. Let's keep rolling. I thought this race was wide open, the second. I know my perfect lady has all this speed on the Tapeta, but I don't know. Really, at this kind of level, I thought that the 4 or 5 at a nice price might be able to sit the trip. I think there's enough speed here that maybe they can sit a good stocking trip. Mo Jinx has the strongest GSR. If you like the 3, though, it does win on the race sim, right? So it's going to be a short price. I could see it. But I didn't really have a strong opinion. You're either singling the 3 or spread, in my opinion. So I was 5, 4, 3, 6, 7. We'll keep rolling, but I do think my one comment would be I do think there's a lot of pace plays today. So take that for what it's worth. Like, I like some here shortly. We'll talk about them. So definitely watch the first few races, but I think speed could be dangerous. Here on the main track, you got 2 speed runners. I did put Happy Feet Hannah on top. 5-7-4-6. I did cut the 2-3-8. I'm not sure Nipsey can really win off the pace like that, but I like the 5-7 best, I would say. I do think the twins maybe could improve. It's a lightly raced runners, and it's a bottom level kind of maiden claimer, right? 12.5 again. The 4 horses 0 for 15, probably running underneath, I would say. Happy Feet Hannah is the most likely winner for a Bray who drops 12 points in strength of race. That's a lot. And at the same time, look, it's off the Tapeta, second time out. I put this horse on top. I think, maybe the 7 could improve second time out. But Happy Feet Hannah looks tough. Kiona, the problem is the other speed. But Pena can be aggressive. He's been riding well. He's good on speed. He's good on prices. So from that perspective, the 6 horse bit, has been running, right? 0 for 9 and been running very similar. but he definitely tries to get the lead. But this bottom level may be a little bit too cheap. But if the 6 gets loose, could be dangerous. So 5, 7, 4, 6, but the 5 might be tough to beat here. Could be an early single. Race 4, vulnerable favorite, Zolene. They're sprinting 5 on the turf. My concern for Zolene is the speed inside outside, and I just don't think she's all that great. And I think tie it with a bow could be really dangerous. I ended up putting Uncaptured Dove on top, I think, to sit the trip, sprinting 5. I think this horse will sit just a dream trip. I do think the 2 is dangerous, though. I think tie it with the Bogan and get the lead, and I think that could hurt. But the problem with the 4 I didn't like is just going to be caught in between this speed. It's just because the 2 is fast and the 5 is fast. And you look at Zolene, she's not necessarily the best breaker, right? Checked. This was versus a way tougher group at 54. So you could toss that effort, right? I mean, that's a 6-point drop in strength of race. So you could say, well, but I think she needs the lead, right? And she was checked at the start versus tougher. Again, you could forgive it. But if you go back, look, bumped at the start versus 50, bumped at the start. She was sent here, but she doesn't necessarily break well all the time. And that's my concern. And she burned money here where she didn't break well, right? And this is a tougher group than that was last winter. So Jose is great, but I just worry that she's going to get caught in a speed duel. I think Pena up front, second time off the claim for Ramirez, could be really dangerous. Cuts back to 5, gets to the turf. The rail is out. It's a short group rail at 52 feet today. We'll talk about that in a second. But, the 2 could be dangerous up front. I think you can beat the 4. I put Uncaptured Dove on top. I was 1, 2. 6 is a closer. If the thing completely falls apart, maybe ball up top could close. You can see does close on the race sim. So, is going to be closing. But I think you can beat the 4 in my perspective. Race 5. I thought this was a 2-horse race. The 3 is going to get absolutely destroyed. There's no speed here on the Tapeta is the one concern. And for the 3-horse, I think that the 6-horse and the 3-horse just take this group over, though. It's really not a great. It's just some bottom level maidens today. So there's some nicer races. We'll talk about the next one. I actually like the next race quite a bit, but I think Miss Candace O stops. Loyalist obviously is a little bit with Ocasio. He can pop on things like this and win on prices, but I think the speed comes back. Hippie Strike in the list. Race versus many of this group, right, in these prior efforts. So I thought it was between the 3 and 6, and unless somehow like the 5 got loose or the 1, but I don't see it. Not at this kind of level. I think there's enough speed there in the 3 or 6 takeover. So if you're playing the late pick 5, I thought it might be a little bit chalk here in the first leg of that. In the next race, this would be my kind of price best bet of the day, actually, at a price on Woodhoo. There is no speed in this turf race. I mean, look at the pace numbers. You get a couple scratches. I think that this horse can run this group off their feet from the rail. Again, I talked. There's a lot of pace plays today. This is one of them we talked about. I think 1 or 2 early. We'll talk about a couple more. But I think can get to the front, has a nice GSR increase. We'll talk about that. But I just don't think they're going to set really soft fractions in it. I believe, if I remember right, we got the apprentice Pedro Pena here riding the 1-horse. And again, he got a weight break, and he's been riding so well on the lead and at prices. So with a 52-foot rail, it's a small group, but whoever gets to the front and the 1 comes off that Tapeta sprint for doubles, Pedro Pena rides, and he drops 8 points in strength of race, and these were all tougher races, was never on the lead. You go all the way back here, on the turf, sprinted 5. We're going 8, so it is quick. Needs to be forwardly placed, but should be on the lead, right? And has not been on the lead really at all, which just shows that there's no pace in this race. You look at Ton of Laughs, comes from easier strength of race. Don't like that horse. You look here, burn some money for Imperial Blue. This horse has been around a long time, but can't beat, beats easier. And then you got Thunder Princess, who's going to take lots of action, but just not a trustworthy horse for a brave race does ride. The 7 wins the racing. I was 1-7, just those 2 horses. The 4 is a vulnerable favorite here at 2-1, in my opinion. And I think the 1 or 7 win the race. Racing as the 7, but I think the 1 has a big shot. Well, we got 3 more. Winrooski, put this horse on top. I think probably with speed can win this on the front end. The other 3, maybe if you're spreading, but at 4 to 5, going to be a short price. I don't think the 1 or 2 can win. I do think that Winrooski up front, though, could win. They're going 5.5 on the Tapeta. Speed always dangerous. Sprinting on the Tapeta. Not necessarily always going 2 turns, but the 5 is right there. That's what concerned me a little bit. And you have strong GSRs on these other horses. So it's a competitive race. Again, cut both those. I think it's between them. I did put the 3 on top, 3, 5, 6. So again, I'm not sure that 3 is a single. More speed here. I put the 2 on top of Zam. Again, like I said, there's a lot of pace plays today. I thought the source comes out of the Peter Pan for D'Angelo, quick on the dirt. Moonstrosity, and this horse I think wins the race, and if I remember right. But I actually liked Arabia Wild. It was 2-4. If you're spreading in a short field, the problem is I don't think the 6 is the only one that can't win the race. The 3 does 2-4-3 for me. Move, Jesse, move. You look at the GSRs and it looks to be between the 2 and 4, but the 3 win the race and the 5 right there. But I do think Azam, I put this horse on top because I think it can win on the lead. Comes out of the Peter Pan that was tougher. One in the 10 post here has done nothing wrong. Gets into an allowance optional claim group, is protected, so there's no real concerns there. Monstrosity didn't win 2 back. Then here for Jenna, ran okay. Arabia Wild, though, I think, the source has a little bit of a look because it's coming from much tougher races, right? 62s, 58s, has run off the pace, and with some early speed, maybe can run in and hit the board. Maybe can win, live long shot for sure. I like the GSR move, was on the turf and the Tapeta in recent 2, and now gets back to the main track, which is what this horse wants, where it broke its main for Brad Cox. Predominantly was down at Fairgrounds last winter. And then in the last, Braveness, Scotty Longshot, first-time starter. This is not a great group. They've all been kind of struggling, but I was 2-1-6. If you're deep spread, 4-7. But you look at Braveness, a homebred P&G Stables. Torres rides for D'Angelo. It's not Reyes, so it's usually one of those guys. Torres rides. Has a really strong work here. No video, but has a bullet here. Showed this horse was working a while ago. It took a while, I think, to get to the track. Finally gets here. D'Angelo places him, I think, at the right level. Main claim 25. Strongest GSR of the group. Has good, there's some pace to chase. The 1, I know a lot of people think this horse might get loose, be dangerous. The problem is it burned money. It hasn't burned money, but it's lost versus easier, sorry. A 36 and a 30 and a 36, and this is a 38. So I do worry a little bit from a pace play. I'm kind of against this one because I do think somebody could probably come off the pace on the turf. Again, I was 2-1. I do think the 1's dangerous. And then 6-4-7 is spreading deep. All right. Well, let's let you all go. We will be back tomorrow, mandatory Monday. You got 10 minutes to post. I'll shoot out a little grid right now. We'll have the breakdown obviously here with the video, but you see on the race sim, the 2 does close here. Again, I think it's dangerous. as a first-time starter, Scotty Longshot. That's a good angle, does well at EMF top GSR. So good work pattern. Yeah, Gary, of course. I appreciate it. Well, thanks for tuning in. Be on the lookout for the grid. I'll drop it right now. Good luck today.